We've had a soul, not really a hip hop artist, but we had a soul artist on before you today, and we've had country, pop, rock and roll, all genres. Well, we haven't had any opera on here yet, and we haven't had any. Well, yeah, we've had some gospel on, but we try to have all kinds of genres. Basically, what we look for is good emerging talent. If you've got a talent, you're good at it, and you're an indie artist, then hey, you've got a place here. We've even worked with established artists too. So it's not a. We try to be as inclusive as we possibly can, and we're happy to have you here with us today. And interesting story that you have there too. Tell us about the songwriting, your inspiration, where you get it from, and how you translate into the lyrics that you write.
Yeah, actually, I write in English, so it becomes like I actually almost like writing in Hebrew. Because when you do it a lot, you start thinking in English, and everything becomes more familiar. And and it's really it's a good place. I don't feel like I have. I mean, when I speak, yes, it's something else. Like my English level is dropping down in like 3 or 4 levels. But when I write, it's from another place in my mind, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I connect to something else, something more freedom. It's about this place.
Right, and we're gonna be playing that in just a couple of minutes. Before we run out of time, I want to get John Bon Jovial in here because he hasn't contributed any questions or anything to the conversation yet. John Bon Jovial.
They're going to accuse me of contributing to the delinquency of a musician. You know that, don't you?
Oh, well, of course. What the heck?
No, Jack, I wanted to just make a comment to you about the first song that we played, and the vocalization, the way you produced the vocals on that has such a nice ethereal feel to it, and it kind of reminded me of a band from the late 60s called the Electric Prunes, and there's a song that they did called Too Much to Dream Last Night. I found myself paying more attention to the vocals on the song than I did the music itself, which of course I think is outstanding, but you really have a unique approach to putting together, the lead vocal and harmonizing structure with it.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think, it's about the energy of the song when you feel that it needs some kinds of vocals. I mean, I hear it when I'm making the music, when I'm playing the music. The first time when I write a song, I can hear the vocals. So this is something. I mean, I come from. I write a lot. I'm coming from the words. So I mean, the music. It's like 50-50, but I really. A man of words. So maybe it's because of that. I mean, the vocals are very important to me.
And I think that another thing that might be contributing to that, just from my outsider's perspective, because I haven't worked with you, so I'm just going by what I hear now. I think another thing is your ability. As you said, you write in English, your ability to take your natural thoughts as they come out in your language and translate them to English. You have the ability to do that and to get the meaning and the feel of the words translated into English. And this is important because, it's hard to understand people's thoughts and emotions. And the fact that you can do that.
It's culture.
Exactly, and you can translate that.
The culture before you get the words. Yes,
right, and you translate that well, and I think that's one of the contributing factors to your excellent lyrics. The fact that you are able to do this. And before we run out of time here, I want to give you a minute or so here that you can tell us about freedom, because I know you want to talk about that. Tell us about freedom.
Yeah, freedom is our new single out there, and it's amazing because I'm also a guitar teacher and I have a student that really it's a unique lesson. I mean, I never learned how to play guitar, and I know some tricks. So these tricks I'm teaching my students, and it's more like how to write music with a tool, and then it happens to be a guitar. So this approach is bringing me to tell my student, listen, when you make a mistake, stick with it, try to develop it. And that's what happened with freedom. Started with a mistake on the guitar, and then 2 weeks ago, I just took it to the studio and started developing this mistake of the riff, and it was, and that's how freedom, and that's all the parts of freedom. Like, think different, go to your mistakes, and not just try to ignore them.
Excellent philosophy. Jack, I want to thank you so much for coming by, spending time with us today, sharing your story and your music. And I'm looking forward to sharing this exciting new track by your group. Be sure and take our best wishes to the entire group and also to your students. And if you, we would love to hear from emerging Israeli artists. So if you have anyone that is ready for exposure to the rest of the world, be sure and send us a track. I'd love to hear it, and who knows, maybe we'll get them on the show too.
I will. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, Jack. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. In the Butterflies' Dream, this is their new hit, Freedom.
In my dream, I swallow the sun, and it's burning inside me, but I'm not the only one who's out on the field trying to feel freedom, freedom. Open your eyes, no more disguise, freedom, freedom. Open your eyes, freedom, freedom. And they said it wasn't so bad. Don't be afraid, it's all in your head. Open your mind and you'll find freedom, freedom. Open your eyes and rise, freedom, freedom. You live so many lives just for the lies, freedom, freedom. Open your eyes.
freedom. They call themselves Indie Butterfly's Dream, all the way from Israel. Thank you so much for staying up past 2 o'clock in the morning to pre-record this show with us. Really appreciate it, and appreciate you coming by, sharing your music and story with us here on the David Bowers Awards. That about wraps up another exciting week here on the show, and we've got bigger and better things coming soon and throughout 2020. So be sure and watch for us. Follow us, please, on all the usual places, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever. And if you can't find us, drop us a line at david@TheDavidBowers.com, and we'll get back to you and help you with whatever it is you're looking for, especially if you are an independent artist, a new artist, single, band, duo, whatever, or if you know of one that's really good and you would like to see them on the show, or at least have us review some of their music, drop us a line at that same address, david@TheDavidBowers.com. And who knows, maybe we'll take your group and put them on the show. Right now, it's time to put us off the show and out to pasture with the cattle and the plants and all the other stuff. John Bon Jovial, take us home to the farm.
Okay, well, certainly not bad for the second show of our brand new year here at the David Bowers Awards. Folks, you did it again. You spent another perfectly good hour with us, and we are grateful that you did. The David Bowers Awards is broadcast around the world from the studios of Computer Help USA in Naples, Florida, and, of course, from the Valley of the Sun in Tempe, Arizona. And we are available for free on Blog Talk Radio. You can also find us on the Anchor FM app for the Android telephone system and the iPhone telephone system. You'll also find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Amazon Alexa devices, as well as SoundCloud, Mixcloud, and now on the TuneIn Radio app and the Cuyahoga Valley Radio Network and Live 365. Be sure to click the Blog Talk radio page for the David Bowers Awards and like us, as well as on Twitter and Facebook. Join us next week for the David Bowers Awards, Saturday at 12 p.m. That's noon Eastern on WRFZ-FM 106.3 on your FM radio dial. That's Rochester Free Radio. And, of course, Blog Talk Radio, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 6 p.m. UTC for more great indie music and talk with the artists that make it happen. So until next week, for the David Bowers, Nick, our marvelously geeky engineer, and myself, the lovable, legendary John Bon Jovial, we appreciate you being with us this week, and we'll see you next week right here on the David Bowers Awards.